To really understand organisms and to understand how to do a research project from start to finish, you have to actually be doing the work.
We learn over 1,000 species in the first half of the course. In the second half of the course, they pick one to study. They come up with a research question. They design methods to test that question. They implement those methods, and they get results.
We're looking at snails grazing on epiphyte algae that grows on the blade of the seagrass.
We are exploring the environmental factors, the physical factors of sea pearls, Ballonea venticosa.
Naomi and I were working on a project on brittle stars and how light and fear and different cues in their environment mediated the time that it took them to find somewhere to hide.
We decided to create a study to look at how the queen conch shells can positively impact biodiversity.
I've been collecting seagrass shoots, every snail, looking at the percent epiphyte cover out of certain plots, identifying all the species to see what the baseline interactions are in these seagrass beds.
Not much is known about the sea pearl, which is why it's so exciting to study. And one of the first times we went snorkeling, Joe brought it up from the sand and was like, yeah, this is a single cell. I was like, no way.
Right now we're testing the salinity and the light exposure, like how the sea pearls thrive and adapt to those things.
I really like working with invertebrates. There's a certain expectation about invertebrates, about their consciousness, and the definition of consciousness is something that we're always trying to define. And I think that the study that we did here, we're showing that these stars without brains have patterns and repeated behaviors, supports the reason to protect these less charismatic animals.
Everything is so deeply intertwined. You can't really study just one marine animal without really thinking about the whole system. When we were snorkeling around, we noticed that there were so many empty conch shells that were being inhabited by little fish and different types of invertebrates.
The seagrass beds are kind of like a nursery for juvenile fish, and right along the edge we have laid some conch shells out there.
We found that these shells are actually having a really important use as a natural habitat.
Science is inherently interdisciplinary. Unique questions and studies come from people with different backgrounds, different interests, different skills.
I felt so empowered with all the scientific skills that we're learning how to do here.
Getting your hands dirty with as many experiments as possible is a good thing.
Just being present in the moment led me to more research questions.
It's the first time that a lot of us have done real science.
You were the one building the trials, you're the one writing it up, doing the statistics, doing the graphing. That's super cool to feel like, oh, I can do all that.